I can really see in my relationship with my wife as well. There's something about that I think these practical, down-to-earth man skills. I can really see how my wife appreciates it when I could do all the heavy work and lifting and stuff like that. And then she comes and she does the painting and the varnishing and like makes everything nice,
And the
the
finishing
sanding and
touches.
this is the finishing touching. And then she gets the real kick of like, wow, look what we did together. Dad, we have session number 8. We don't have Noah with us. He was supposed to be here, but it is 8 a.m. in Los Angeles at the moment where he's at. So we're assuming that the alarm clock didn't work for the 18-year-old.
Didn't go.
Yeah. So
Or there
good.
was a snooze.
Yeah,
But we'll catch
yeah.
him
We do
another
have
time.
plenty to talk about anyway, though, so we decided to record anyway. I've just put out like a little bit of like information already. I haven't officially launched yet, so this will kind of be a pre-launch announcement that I'm starting a whole new initiative, and it's going to be centered around a Substack called The Path of Manliness. And that's
Ah,
going to lead to a summer gathering here on the homestead, where you're going to be coming. We just bought your flights with you and mom coming this
you.
summer again. Great. um, and it's going to be focused on, again, practical, down to earth man skills that men can learn and share. So, yeah, that's nice. And you're going to come and do some storytelling. I've asked you to do at least, right?
Yeah, we'll have to think about a story. We can do that.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorite
And we're going to
memories
go
from
from,
childhood is being in church where you would tell like the all the children in the church. It was like on Christmas and
yeah,
Easter
some
and stuff like
stories.
that. You do some storytelling
Yeah,
and just
I've got
remember.
to be honest, I enjoyed that as well. It was always good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, at the European Men's Gathering, was it 22, 23 where you came and you told the story of Iron John?
Yeah, I can't remember. It was quite some time ago. I think it was 22.
22, yeah. Yeah. That was a lot
Yeah,
of guys said that that
that
was
was
their
the,
favorite part of the gathering.
well, I got to be honest, it was my favorite part as well. I felt out of my depth being in the group, but yeah, telling the story was great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the previous gatherings that I've been doing, there's been like these kind of like sharing groups where guys have shared some of the challenges that they're facing, and I think that's been valuable and good for a lot of guys. And then with what we're doing now with the path of manliness, is we're taking a little bit of a different approach. So I think those conversations can still happen, but I think that they
Yeah.
happen far more naturally when it's amongst men that you've actually developed a good, strong friendship with. And so it's
Hmm.
something that people figure out a little bit more by themselves. And obviously, that's great when they do that. But what we're going to be doing with this event is just learning practical man skills. And it's one of the things that I've appreciated getting from you, Dad, is the ability to
Yeah.
just do stuff that needs doing as a man in a house with a family and, stuff that breaks and whatever it is that happens. So I'm curious, actually, maybe you can tell a little bit about like, how was it for you growing up and developing practical man skills, and what did you get from your dad?
No, very great. We did so much stuff together. My dad was a farmer, and I don't remember too much of that because I was only 3 when we moved off the farm. But then he continued to farm in the backyard. So he was always planting trees, and we were planting vegetables and looked after them. And the other thing that we often did is fix cars and bicycles. And my brother in particular was very keen on building a tandem. So we took 2 bicycles, chopped one up, welded the two together, and made a tandem. It was great fun. I
Uh-huh.
rode that tandem for many, many years.
Okay. Just by yourself or
Yeah.
with your brother?
Well, sometimes by myself, sometimes with my brother, sometimes with a young lady. So we had
Oh.
lots of fun with that tandem.
Uh-huh. So Joburg in the 60s, then that was the way you picked up the young lady with uh-huh.
Well, maybe, yeah, more in the late 50s, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got around. And it was a heavy wheel tandem as well. It wasn't just a light thing.
Hmm.
We took one of the thick wheel frames and made a tandem out of that. And then they
Okay.
needed repair and then fixing cars. And we overhauled an old Peugeot, 1949 Peugeot, I think was what I had, a 203 Peugeot.
Hmm.
And that needed to, well, it was starting to use oil. So my dad just said, well, let's overhaul it ourselves, change it.
Hmm.
And him and I got stuck in. We did it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't my I think in my childhood one of the values was kind of like getting a good academic education, and so I never went into so much handiwork. But I just remember in my childhood, like like fixing a bicycle, fixing stuff around the house.
Yeah,
If there was something that was broken, then my dad could do it, and I think I just naturally inherited that kind of thing. That like when something needs doing, then I can give it a shot and try it out. And so having moved out to a farm here now 5 years ago. There's so much stuff I have no idea how to do that needs doing, right? So I've been learning to like install piping for like water and like doing bricklaying and cutting up metal stuff and you know really enjoyed building that chicken coop with you, like half timbered chicken coop that Alex also helped out a lot with. That's great. Now we have like chicken eggs coming every day now from that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's been useful.
Oh, that was great fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
really, I've got to say you've done very well because I mean, in a sense, your training was academic, and you when you went into politics and you were in an office and all that kind of stuff, and then you ended up in this farm. And I really admire the way you've tackled the jobs that you've tackled. I mean, that changing of the place for the washing machine and so on, great stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the big project this winter.
Yeah.
And I'll say like, I can really see in my relationship with my wife as well, like that, um, there's something about that I think these practical, down-to-earth man skills, that's what we're calling them. That's what the summer gathering is going to be about. It's going to be about developing man skills. And we're going to ask every man coming to please think about like what's a man skill that you can share with the other guys there. So, one of the
Hmm.
primary man skills as well is also like helping other people to learn as well. So that's what we're
Yeah. Yeah.
going to be a broad range of stuff, but I can really see how my wife appreciates it when I could do all the heavy work and lifting and stuff like that. And then she comes and she does the painting and the varnishing and like makes everything nice,
And the
the
finishing
sanding and
touches.
this is the finishing touching. And then she gets the real kick of like, wow, look what we did together. And I did
Yeah. Yeah.
the big heavy lifting kind of work, but then it's a real feeling of accomplishment that you kind of made the stuff work underneath the surface. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been
And
great.
your mom's the same. She loves it when we do something together.
Yeah.
Look, yeah,
Yeah.
got that job done.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's also been I never thought about when we moved out to a farm. It wasn't my dream at all to move to a farm. I think that a lot of men are discovering the importance and the value of like for me it's been a reconnecting to reality actually of moving away from the big city where everything's done for me and I kind of live separated away from all of the systems and machinery that's supporting my life and getting in touch with just the bare bones facts of reality and trying to do together, like doing projects together with my wife as well, with Laura. Like, it's like we have to communicate about things and make things work, and everything has to come together in the
Yes.
end, and it's difficult. And so we're not just talking about things up in the world of ideas anymore, but we're actually getting far more down to earth and practical.
Yeah. And that means you're helping each other and you're learning to understand and you realize you've got different perspectives and you iron those things out and all that kind of stuff comes into it as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Very
Oh,
good.
yeah, good. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe we'll just we'll put it there and leave that for a good little video. And I'm going to have a whole lot more to talk about this path of manliness in the future as well. There's going to be a Substack where we're going to be putting up like once, twice a week new content there based on the book that I'm writing on the same topic, and probably lots of conversations and all other kinds of stuff as well, and updates about the summer
Mm,
gathering where we're expecting to have a whole lot of guys coming.
good. And it's going to be a long walk. This path is not a short path.
Oh, the path of yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
approach is like I have no idea. I don't think there's any end to it, but I'm just one other guy on the path, and
Yeah.
what I found is that actually it's not so much about in some areas one man's ahead of another one, but it's about being headed in the same direction,
Yeah.
and what I
Absolutely.
found is that the direction is often like understanding where my father's been and where he's gone and understanding I don't have to follow in his footsteps as we've spoken about. I don't have to do the same things as he has, but
No.
it's good to understand what he's done um as I'm moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and build on that. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Dan.
Good stuff. Look
Yeah.
forward to seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Cheers, then.